Welcome to the Bushido gang. What's up, guys? It's Attack on Samurai, and welcome to my ADV global match against Djokra. So I wanted to talk about this series as this is actually a best of 3 series. And I also wanted to talk about my other games as well. So I will be discussing those other games in a separate vid. But right now I wanted to focus on ADV because ADV is the current meta, or is the current old gen meta that I've been having the most fun with. And I care about it a lot, and I actually want to get better at it. So I wanted to actually diagnose these games and just see what I could actually do better. So before we get started though, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also follow me on my Pokemino and check out my Smokeground profile. All those links will be down in the description. So my opponent, Djokra, is a very well-known ADV player, and Heinz told me about her, and I was just like, oh, she seems tough. So I was just like, man, this is gonna be tough, but I tried my best. So this is actually gonna be game 1. So here is game 1. So game 1, she leads with Tars, I lead with Jolteon. So I go for the sub just to scout for whatever I would scout to see whatever this T-Tar would do, and it goes for Crunch right off bat. So that told me that her Tar was going to be more of a especially offensive one. So what I do here is that I actually go for the Baton Pass. So I Baton Pass out and I go into meta, and she goes for the Crunch, and Crunch does a ton to me. So that means that this Tar is very heavily Spadef invested. So all I can do is just go for the Meteor Match as she goes for Skarmory. So Skarm is going to take very little from that, and not much I can really do besides just switch out and try and go back to the Jolt, or go Starmie on Spikes, which I do. So she goes for the Spikes, I go for the Spin right here because I'm just like, I'm not trying to stay in with these hazards up. So she goes into Celebi, and the more I'm looking at this team, the more I'm starting to try to pick out what she has. So I'm just like, okay, she showed Tar, she showed Skarmory, and then she showed Celebi. So I'm just like, this team looks very defensive so far. So I tried to so now I'm trying to see, okay, what else does she have? So what else is she gonna do? So she goes for Leech Seed with the Celebi, and I'm just like, okay, this is not it. This is not the move. So I try to get up Spikes as she goes right into Tar. Or actually, no, I don't. I go Gengar. I think I went Gengar predicting. I think I might have been predicting HP Fire or something. I'm not too sure why I switched there. It might have been just to prevent the Leech Seed or just to see what else she would do. But that was honestly a pretty bad play on my part, just going hard Gar. I should have just stayed in anyway, since Skarmory could pretty much threaten her Celebi. So, but again, at the time I was trying to see if she had HP Fire, but this was never the switch in. Gengar was never the switch in on HP Fire. So that was a pretty bad play on my part. But I bring in Gengar, which is horrible because that means that she's going to pursue, and all I can do is just go for the Explosion. So I go for the Explosion, and I make sure that she can't pursue, but unfortunately I do lose my Gengar, which is probably the worst thing I could have let boom there, because it actually would have been good for this game. But again, that was a pretty big choke on my part. So I bring in Starmie now, and I can force this out with Pump. She's going to predict that and go into Celebi as she takes the Hydro Pump very nicely. So now all I can do is just go into Skarmory, or actually I could just beam this to see how much it does. Beam does a good chunk to it, but this Celebi is very defensive from the way it looks. So it was able to take beam pretty comfortably, so she can just recover off that with the Leech Seed, and even just recover since she has recover on this set anyway. So I go for the Spin just to break out a Leech Seed as she's going to recover right here. So I'm just like, okay, this is not it. I gotta switch out again. So I'm gonna have to switch out here and go into Tar just to see what else she go for. She goes for the HP Grass, and that does a ton to me. So since she's HP Grass, that meant that Skarmory hardwalled this. So now that I saw that, too late, but I saw it now. So what that means is that my Skarmory could actually try to apply some pressure on it. But again, I kind of played it pretty horribly, I'm not gonna lie. So Celebi's in here. I go for the Focus Punch. I went Focus Punch to catch whatever came in, and Flygon came in, so that's a really good chunk on that Flygon. So I'm able to weaken it pretty nicely. She switches out and goes into Moltres, and I'm just like, oh no, oh no. She predicts my switching in the Skarmory, and I'm just like, okay, there's not much I can really do against this because Moltres just cooks my whole team, and it also has HP Grass, which I was actually trying to scout for throughout this game. But she is gonna, I pretty much just assume that she has HP Grass on the team like this, or on a Moltres like this. But yeah, the more I'm starting to piece up this team, the more I'm just realizing, oh, this is the team that what's it called used. It was either Dice or Alexander. No, it was Dice. Dice used this team in a recent tournament or in the recent Smogon Classic. So when I recognized this team, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna have a hard time now. So now all I can really do is just try to get up a spike or something. Not on the Moltres, but you know, like eventually. But Moltres is gonna go for a Fire Blast, and that does a ton. That does a ton to me, and she also burns me. So because of that burn, I'm gonna have a pretty bad time, and I'm gonna get worn down because, you know, burn does 12%. So I have to switch out and go into meta on whatever she'd switch into, like Skarmory or something. But she brings in Jirachi, and then she switches it back into Skarmory. So I switch back and go into Jolteon, predicting it. Now Jolteon here is actually pretty aggressive against her, just because Thunderbolt can do quite a bit, especially to that Tar, since Tar doesn't seem to be a offensive or defensive set. So Thunderbolt could do a good chunk to it. Again, that's what I was thinking throughout this match. Like Jolteon was actually really good. Jolteon and Metagross were actually pretty key to me, like trying to break through this team. But I just really couldn't figure out what was the best way to maneuver around it. Also, my Jolteon cannot hit the Celebi as it's actually HP Grass. So I go for the sub just to see what else she go for, but yeah, she does hard switch and go Tar. So I go for a Thunderbolt just to see how much it could do. It did 38, so that's a decent chunk, but not enough. So now she brings in my Tar, and I'm just like, okay. So she goes for the Crunch. I guess predicting me to switch or something. I go for the Rock Slide, and I don't kill Tar, which is, you know, fantastic. So now what I do is I believe I went for the Rock Slide again, so I go for the Rock Slide again on the Jirachi, and again, not much I can really do against this Jirachi. She's gonna predict my switch, and as I go Skarmory. Well, actually, I think she just wanted me to switch or something. But I just switch out here and go Skarm as I get up a Spike now. Okay, never mind. I actually go for the Drill Peck. Forget what I said. I thought I went for Spike there, but I think I go for it now. But she taunts me here, so now I'm pretty much forced to. Well, actually, no, I tried to taunt her back, so her Skarm was actually faster, or was a speed tie. But Jolteon's in here now, which is nice, but at the same time, no Spike up, so I can't really pressure anything. And also my Starmie is very weakened. So again, after Sand and Hazards, my Starmie is going to get very, very weakened, especially because I don't have any kind of recovery on this team, or on that Starmie. So yeah, there's really not much I can do. She goes Celebi as I go for the Baton Pass, and I bring in Skarmory. So again, I'm really trying to apply pressure as much as I can with Skarmory, but it's just really hard to do, especially with this Moltres coming in. So I get the Spike up now, but 3 things on this team just levitate. And she also misses Fire Blast, which is pretty huge, and I am able to roar it, but Skarmory comes in instead. She can just go for Taunt as I go with Jolteon instead to Scout, but she just roars me, so I'm just like, okay, this is bad. And Starmie comes in, which is even worse. So literally, there's nothing I can do. I just go for the Thunderbolt, and I don't kill it, and she Toxics me, and I'm just like, okay. So yeah, not much I can really do with the Mii, and I'm pretty much just forced to try to spin, as I am able to get the spin off, I believe. So I do get the spin off on the Celebi, but with my Starmie being gone, I can't pressure it. I can't pressure this at all. So all I can do is just go Tar and hope I live HP Grass, as she's actually going to predict me to maybe go for a Fire Move or something. So Jirachi takes that HP Bug very nicely, and she misses the Dynamic Punch, which was huge. Which is funny. It's funny because in the actual tournament game that Dice used this team, this was the same situation, and the T-Tar, and not the T-Tar, the Jirachi missed a Dynamic Punch as well, which was kind of funny. So, you know, kind of just tied in everything, but still, I'm in the worst position. But yeah, I am able to take out the Jirachi, which is kind of a good thing, but at the same time, it's just it's still going to be difficult, because I really still can't break through the Tar, or the rest of this team like I want to. So able to kill that off, but now Flygon can come in here for free, and now all I can do is just go Skarmory. Ashley's going to predict that very nicely and just go Moltres. So pretty much at this point, I'm just like, I just need to get the Spike up or something, or just try to get something. But then she predicts the switching, and I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. I literally think if I sacked Skarmory right there, I might have had a better shot at this. I think I should have done that instead of just letting Tar get the burn. I think that was actually a pretty big misplay. That was actually a really big misplay, but also the miss too. The miss from the Fire Blast didn't matter as well. But yeah, if she just hit my Skarmory, then I think I would have actually taken that better than letting my Tar get burned, because Tar was actually pretty decent here. So I messed up pretty badly there. But yeah, now Tar is pretty much useless. It can't really get off the damage I needed to get off, and Rock Blast is not even going to kill that Skarmory. So I go for it and I miss anyway. So that's pretty big too, because if I actually landed that, then I might be able to get something going. But yeah, this Skarmory's just going to be able to live, especially with the lead sheet support from Celebi. So she gets the spike up too, and now it's just looking very, very bad. And again, like I said, I can't pressure that Celebi at all. I can try and get a para on it, but that's all I can really do. And unfortunately, actually I don't get it. I think I get it like the turn or so afterwards, but yeah, again, I can't really touch the Celebi. I go for the baton pass in the Skarm as she's going to recover here. And all I can do is just try to get a spike up, but she can just go for the leech seed, and like I said, there's not much I can do. I get the taunt off, but it doesn't matter because Celebi's faster than me anyway. And Skarmory can come in here for free as I get up a spike anyway. So yeah, I get up a spike, but like I said, it only hits these two. It doesn't hit any of these three, so yeah. Good things, you know, Stealth came in Gen 4, because if they came here in if they were here in Gen 3, then Moltres would probably be where it is. Like, it probably would not be that used, or it would probably still be used, but it just wouldn't be like as used. But yeah, Tar's in here now as I baton pass out and bring in Tar. But at this point, like I said, there's not much I can do. I go for the focus punch, maybe thinking that she'd switch into something else, but she's just gonna go for the HP bug or HP grass and just kill me. So yeah, I'm gonna die off to burn, and not much I can do now. I try to get off something with Skarmory. Actually, I try to get off something with Meta in the late game, or at the end of this game, but there's nothing I can do. Skarmory's here, and it's just going to be able to just annoy me the whole way through like it always does. So I go Jolt here, as she's going to go for the spike again, and like I said, all I can do is just try to rely on Meta and try and get some crits or something, but that Skarmory's way too high. If it was lower, then I might have had a shot, but yeah, I get rid of the Tar now, but she can just go right into Celebi and just wall me. So, and I died to spikes anyway, and Meta takes too much, so I Thunderbolt, try to get a para or something. I actually do get the para there, but it doesn't matter. She can kill me off with the HP grass. Now all I can do is just go Meta. In hindsight, I think if I went Skarmory, I might have had a better shot, but at the same time, again, they both levitate, or they're both, you know, over the ground, so they don't get hit by hazards besides Celebi anyway. So literally, I had to go off the misses, or I had to go off the para for me to try to break through with Metagross and try to get some crits on that Skarmory. That's literally all I had left going. So I try to get that off. I go for the agility now, and I try to meteor mash through. She gets the recovery off and breaks through para. So I try to get my meteor mash going, you know, try and get some damage going, try to get like maybe a crit or something, and maybe get like a boost or something off the attack. If I got a boost, then maybe I could still break through the Skarmory. But yeah, she can just go right into Skarmory here. I go for the meteor mash, try to get a boost. 23 is still a good chunk to that, but that is not enough. And the Skarmory is just going to beat me down with Roar and can just phase me out. So she does Roar, and comes my own Skarmory. I can't even phase like I want to, and I pretty much just forfeit, and she just taunts me, and that's the game. So yeah, that's pretty much just gonna be that, because again, Fire Blast just, you know, beats me down, and yeah. So like I said, I definitely think I had outs. I definitely do. I think Tar was actually pretty good here. Tar was actually very good here if I played it smart. Like, again, letting that get burned was probably my biggest misplay, and also letting Gengar just die off early was also my biggest misplay as well. Like, it actually had outs. It actually walled the Celebi. It actually walled Celebi, and it could break through these two, but I just really couldn't figure out how to play around that, and yeah, it was just a big misplay. It was just all misplays. Again, the Gengar play pretty much made no sense. I should have still tried to switch anyway, but she was going to Pursuit. Like, if you're running a Tar on a team like this, you have to have Pursuit. There's, like, no way. There's no reason you wouldn't have Pursuit on a team like this. But yeah, that's going to be the game for game 1. So, yeah, I'll dive into game 2. And, well, actually, I already have game 2 recorded. I'm just going to have to, like, edit it out and such. So I'll just dive into game 3. So give me a second. Welcome to the Bushido Gang. What's up, guys? It's Attack on Samurott. And welcome to my ADV Global tournament match against the Djokra. So, in case you didn't know, on Smogon, there are currently some tournaments going on in the old generations. So currently there's a tournament going on for Gen 4, Gen 5, and Gen 3. No word on there being one for Gen 2 and Gen 1 yet, but pretty sure there will be one likely in the future. But anyways, I signed up for 3, 4, and 5. I lost my games for 4, and I have one more set for 5. But I wanted to discuss my games for Gen 3. So again, this is my opponent Djokra, and Djokra, aka Alice, she is a really good player. From what I've heard from Heinz, he's told me a lot about her, and just saw a couple replays of her, and she seemed to have like a lot of she seemed to be doing really well. So I was kind of intimidated by this match because I was just like, man, how am I gonna play this? How am I gonna play this? So unfortunately, I don't have the first game saved. I only have game 2 and game 3, so just bear with me on this one. But anyways, let's just dive into this game. So without further ado, let's just get it. So turn 1, I lead with meta as she leads with meta. I go for the meteor mash as she's gonna go for the earthquake. Now, no lie, I think, okay, no, there's not really much to say about turn 1, honestly. It's just pretty much a quick punch for punch. So, except she got the heavier hit. So I go into Zapdos on Earthquake as she reveals that she's pretty much bandaged, so she switches into Pert. As I go into my Kitana, and then she brings in Sterlice. Then she hard switches into the T-Tar as I get my spikes up. So get these spikes up right now. She goes for the Blast as she's gonna be a mixed Tar, or just max special attack Tar, which is pretty common in ADV. So I switch out and go into my Goro, as Goro could eat every, not really. I'm just going to scare it out as she goes into the Heracross. So I go for the Cross Chop and miss, which kind of sucks. But overall, I do have to say that Machamp was a pretty big threat to her team. As you know, Cross Chop just kind of messes up everything. Even Heracross, if it landed, it probably would have done like maybe 40% at most. So yeah, I still would have kept it low. But yeah, missing that kind of like sucks a little bit. So gonna be forced to actually bulk up with my Goro as she's gonna go for the sub. So I'm actually gonna try and break it first. I break the sub first and go for the Rock Slide. And now she's gonna be forced to go for the SD. So as she SDs, I go for the bulk up right now. So I bulk up here, and as I go for the Rock Slide on her next sub, that is gonna put her into the into Salic range. So she is gonna get that Salic off, and if she's also Swarm, then Mega Horn's gonna be doing a ton to me since it's already in a pinch. So Mega Horn comes through, and Goro barely lives it. It barely lives it, and I kill it off with HP Bug. So now Pert can come near for free as my Goro's gonna fall over. And now what I can do is go into Shao Kahn. As she actually goes for the Hydro Pump, does a lot. Go for the HP Grass. I do not kill Pert. I just barely miss out on it. So she's able to pretty much kill off my Skarmory as I do sack it here. And since I sacked off Skarm, now I can bring in Flygon. And Flygon is looking pretty dangerous at this point, because from the way her team is looking, it seems like she doesn't really have much in terms of like a ground immunity. So Earthquake is pretty free at this point. So Scorpion is pretty much like the main threat at this moment. So I go for the Earthquake and I kill off Pert now. So Pert's dead. Now Arrow comes in, and I'm just like, oh no, I can't stay in here. So she goes for the rocks. She actually goes for the Double Edge, and that was a great mid play or mid ground on her part because it pretty much covered everything. Again, my meta was pretty much dead. I could have sacked it anyway, and that probably would have been fine too. But I just wasn't sure if she would go for Rock Slide, which is why I made the play I did. So yeah, because even if she did, like if she did Rock Slide there, then one, Flygon would have taken a lot from it since it's Banded Arrow. So I just really couldn't risk it. That's why I had to switch there and go Zapdos. But yeah, Zapdos does hang on, which is really good. And now I just have to hope that it can live another one, and hope she doesn't get the roll. She did not get the roll, and I'm able to kill off the Arrow, which is really big. Again, if I didn't get that off, then if I didn't get that roll, then yeah, Zapdos would have fell over, and it just would have been hard for me to kind of break through the rest of this team had that happened. Well, actually, no, the Thunderbolt was definitely key. I had to get that off. If I didn't get that off, then Arrow would have just been a huge problem, and it probably could have just ran through the rest of my team, and she would have gotten this game. But anyways, Last comes in here, and I'm gonna die to Sand. In case you didn't know, in Gen 3, Sand damage actually goes first before lefties. So that's a pretty huge deal in this meta, as you're not gonna be able to live at like 2%. Sand will take you out first. So just keep that in mind in case you want to get into ADV. Sand will take you out first before lefties. Or before lefties can heal you. So yeah, that's why my Raiden died right there. Now I can bring in Jax, and I can go for Meteor Mash as she's gonna go into the Metagross. And I missed my Meteor Mash, which kind of sucks, not gonna lie. But I just go for it anyway, because at this point, like I said, my Flygon can pretty much just win. My Scorpion, can pretty much just like clean up house. So Here comes a Flygon. I go for the Earthquake, and I'm able to kill off the Metagross. So Meta dies, and Tar comes in here, and Tar is not going to live that since I am banded. So that is going to be a dead Tar. And now all that's left is the Snorlax, and all she can do is pretty much just Body Slam or go for like Self-Destruct or anything at this point. But yeah, this is pretty much going to be a wrap, and she's going to land the Body Slam, knock me out right there. As she is going to be faster, of course, since I'm paralyzed, and paralysis does like I think over half instead of how it is now where it's cut in half. So now I can kill off the Snorlax with Crunch, and that is going to be game 2. So that is game 2. I will be right back with game 3. Well, actually, I might be back with game one. I know it's weird. I didn't mean to do it like this. I'll probably just reorder it or something with the video. But yeah, give me a second. All right, so here is my game 3 match against Djokra. So I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting a pretty bulky team as she was bringing more offensive teams. I was thinking that, okay, like the first game she brought that team that Dice used, and then second game she brought a more offensive team. So I was thinking, okay, this third game she has to bring something more defensively oriented to try to break through me. So for me, I really brought a dumb team. I'm not gonna lie. Like the team I brought this game was not suited for this match. I only brought it because at the time I was thinking it doesn't really matter. Like I was thinking I'm probably not gonna win anyway, even if I use this team. So I was just kind of in the I don't really care mood. So I brought this team just cause. I think if I actually brought something better, then I might have had a better shot against her team. But you're gonna see anyway. So here we go. Let's dive in. So game 1 or turn 1, she leads with T-Tar as I lead with Blaziken. So Blaziken is probably the most important Mon in this game. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm being dead serious with you. This Mon was actually key for this whole game. Because as you're gonna see, for one, she led T-Tar, which is actually perfect for my Blaziken because I can just pressure this thing right off the bat, and she'll be forced to switch into something that could take a fighting move. So she's gonna switch right into Milotic as I go for the Sky Uppercut, and it does a good chunk to it, which told me that her Milotic was more defensively oriented, as it did like 30. So I bring in Pert as she goes for the recovery. So as she went for the recovery, I was just like, okay, I could just Taunt this thing down and see what kind of Milotic she has. The fact that she has Milotic means that, again, like I said, her team is starting to look more and more defensively oriented. I mean, so I go for the Taunt as she's going to go for the Taunt as well, and we're both going to reveal that we have Refresh. Now Refresh is actually something pretty common on defensive Pert. This kind of Pert can actually break through stuff like Blissey, from what I've been seeing so far from tournament games and also just on the ladder. So it's a pretty cool tech, very cool tech actually, the fact it can break through Blissey. But yeah, Surf is going to do a lot to me. I get the Taunting off, but she can just recover off and not really care about what I do. And even just, like take a Surf anyway, because Surf only does like 10% to that. So I go into Zapdos as she's going to recover there. So I do reveal the Zapdos here. I can just go for a Thunderbolt of my own, or I could Taunting whatever comes in. So she goes into Blissey as I do get the Taunting and miss. So, that's never going to change. So, now I'm just like, okay, she's going to go for T-Wave. I'm going to go into Pert Scout. She goes for the Toss instead, so I'm just like, okay, maybe she doesn't have T-Wave. So what I'm going to do right here is just go into Cloyster as she's going to go right into Skarmory. So as you can see, as I bring in my Cloyster is actually kind of a threat to her because Spikes are going to be very, very pivotal for this match. Because from the look of the team, it looks like she does have at least one spinner, and that spinner is going to be I'll just give you guys a guess. You guys can guess it, but you guys will see it anyway. But yeah, Cloyster is actually pretty important for this game because, again, Spikes are going to be too nice for me. And I'm going to make a really crazy play and maybe predict her to switch out. Maybe thinking that she'd go into something else. Now wanting to take a Surf or an Ice Beam. But instead, she stays in here and goes for Toxic on my Blaziken, which was the worst play that could have happened this whole game. Literally the worst thing that could have happened this entire game. My Blaziken getting Toxic. Like I said, Blaziken was solid. Blaziken was actually solid for this match. It definitely could have broken through Blissey with the Spikes up, and same with these two. Like these two would have got worn down, especially because my Blaziken is more of a mixed variant, so it has more special investment. So it could break through. It could potentially break through Milotic. But Again, I messed up there horribly, letting Blaziken get toxic. I should have just scouted. Maybe went Pert instead, but then it would just been, you know, like free. They would have been free hazards up, and I just didn't really want that. But regardless, my whole team kind of gets toxic. I don't really have an immunity. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. So I have no immunity on this team, so toxic is just free, unfortunately. So now she can just go into my Milotic as I bring in my Cloister, so she's gonna be able to toxic me with her Milotic. So all I can do is just get up spikes, as she's also faster as well. So I get the spikes up, which is nice, but it's not really gonna be like that hopeful to me. Interesting. It's very interesting to see a fast Milotic. I've never seen that. But yeah, I get the spikes up on the Skarmory now, and I go into Zapdos to try to pressure. Then she gets the spikes up as well, and now I'm just like, okay, she's definitely gonna go Blissey. So all I can do is just roar, or I could Toxic the Claydol, which I do predict the Claydol coming in. So yeah, this is her spinner. So again, as you can see, her team is very more defensively oriented. So like I said, Blaziken could have broken through if had I not got Toxic there. It could have. It would have been hard. It would have been very hard, but it was possible. It was very possible. But then again, she had her spinner, and I'm pretty sure that Blissey had aromatherapy, so she was able to still like break through, or still able to recover her mons. But yeah, landing the Toxic on that Claydol was actually pretty key, because now it's not going to be able to really, you know, do too much, because it's going to get worn down too quickly. So she's going to spin here as I go for the HP Ice, and HP Ice is a good chunk to it. But it's not enough to really like merit the spikes being up and such, and, you know, like me trying to still pressure it. So I go Cloister now, as she's going to go into Blissey. So I predict the Blissey to come in, and now what I can do is just try to get more. I can try to get more spikes up. So she's gonna go right into Skarmory, as I do get my spikes back up. So there's one layer up. Again, what I need to do is actually try to get 3 layers up if possible. I go for the Ice Beam and freeze it. So the freeze doesn't really matter, because she's gonna break out next turn anyway. But still, what I'm gonna do is actually still get up spikes, as she's gonna, you know, still be frozen. But I do get up a second layer, and then she's gonna break out and get up her layer as well. So she has like 2 layers now, and I make a really stupid play, and I get up and I go for the Ice Beam. What I should have done was actually went for the Rapid Spin. If I Rapid Spinned, then 1, she wouldn't have 3 layers up, and 2, Blaziken was actually pretty free to come in here, because it would have just messed her up, honestly. It would have just came in and just done some stuff. But again, I made a very bad play going for Ice Beam there instead of just spinning. Like, spin was free. Spin was the freest move right here if I just did it. But unfortunately I didn't do it, and she's gonna have 3 layers up, which is gonna hurt the rest of my team very badly. So I bring in Blaziken now, and I'm able to go for the Blaze Kick, and I do kill off the Skarmory, but it doesn't really matter because she has a Dougie, and Dougie just kills me. So yeah, Dougie kills me, Earthquakes me, and that is pretty much that. So all I have left to really rely on is Zapdos and trying to spin, and trying to you know, try to wear it down with Roar. So I do get the Toxic off now, finally on the Blissey, but Blissey's natural cure, so it's going to be able to just soft wild up and just recover here, as I do try to, you know, like Thunderbolt it down and try to wear it down as much as possible, but she's just going to recover. And all I can do is just try to roar or something, see what else she has on this team as well. So I go into purchase to scout for what else she had, but yeah, you're going to see that, yeah, she does have T-Wave. I can't talk. She does have T-Wave, but I can't pressure anything at all like I want to. So my Milotic comes in here as I go for the Protect. Should have just Toxic anyway, since this was going to come in regardless, but yeah, she goes for the recover here, as I do land my Toxic, but she can just refresh that off, and like I said, not much I can really get going from here. So she does refresh as I go for the Surf, doing 10%. So yeah, that Milotic is just very fat, just going to be very bulky and just not take anything from me. So Surf is going to do way too much because I am part ground. Do get the Toxic off, and also I'm more of a defensive Pert, so, you know, if I was more Spadef, it would have done a little less, but still, defensive Pert's just not going to be able to 1v1 my Milotic like I thought it would. So, so yeah, I do get the, do try to get the Toxic going. Actually, now go Zapdos, and then she Surfs right here, and Surf does a decent chunk, but not too much, as my Zapdos is more specially defensive on this team. So I go for the Thunderbolt, and she's going to go in the Dougie here, as, yeah, so this play right here, her going Dougie, was actually the craziest play of this entire game, because I was thinking that, okay, she has Dougie in here, the only possible play she could make is go for Rock Slide or just go Rock Slide. Pretty much, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking that the entire time. And I think she was actually thinking off me thinking that. She was predicting my prediction, maybe, or something like that. I don't know if that's the right word, but basically, what she does here, as my Zapdos is in here, I'm just like, okay, she's probably gonna go for Rock Slide. I can just go Tar and just take the hit. No, she predicts whatever I go into and go for the HP bug and just pretty much beat me down. So yeah, that was probably the worst play, or I don't know. No, that was just a good read. That was just a good read, honestly. But I think it would have been smarter for me to just stay in and just go for the HP Ice, because she had two things going like in her way. Or I mean, not two things going in her way, but like if she missed Rock Slide, then Dougie would have died, and then Zapdos would have been able to still break through with Thunderbolt and even HP Ice, because Claydol would have been like very weakened too. Not like it still would have lived potentially. But yeah, that trapping into the HP bug definitely screwed me up, and that's gonna kill my T-Tar. And T-Tar was actually pretty decent here too. It could have broken through. But yeah, my T-Tar dying was probably the worst thing that could have happened next to Blaziken. So now all I can do is just really, HP Ice this, as I'm actually go for the Roar, which was actually a really bad play as well, because I don't kill off the Dougie. I should have just killed off Dougie, because Dougie doesn't trap anything else. Well, I mean, my Pert's dead, and my last Mon is just not going to do anything, because it just can't really break through like I thought it would. So, Tar's in here, and pretty much this is just the game, because, like I said, Zapdos is not going to do very much to this. It's only going to do like 38, and she can just Rock Slide me and just kill me. And Pert's not going to live, because it's not faster than the Tar anyway. So she goes for the Earthquake and does kill me off, and now all I have is Tauros, and Tauros is not going to do jack in this game, and that's just going to be the game. So yeah, I do Return. Return does actually does a decent chunk, but Tauros is just not good. It's not a good Mon. Don't use Tauros in tournaments. It's just, if you use Tauros, just use it in RBY. It's not good in anything higher than that, from what I've been. From what it seems, it's only good in the lower tiers. It's not good here. I thought it would be fun to use, that's why I brought it, but I think from now on, like when it comes to ADV and maybe just other tournaments in general, I don't think I can really bring any fun stuff. Like I can't, like, okay, when I say fun stuff, I mean like, because again, I look at other tournament players and like what they like to bring, but I also look at But like, while I do look at other like tournament players and just how they play and just like what teams they use, I also still want to try and have some kind of uniqueness with my teams, and I want to have something that's a little bit more fun to use. But I thought Tauros would be a fun Mon, but it just doesn't work here, because it can't break through anything without 3 layers being up and Tar being dead, and same with Dougie being dead. If those two, or actually those 3, if those 3 or 4 technically, if these 4 were dead, then Tauros actually had a shot at something. It actually had a shot at something, but that was impossible for my team to really do, because again, only Pert could really potentially break through all 3 of them. But there's a Milotic, there's a Blissey. I can't do anything against those 2 with this team. So it was just a really tough beatdown. Like I really couldn't do anything. And she got me with the Dougie. That's pretty much it. She just got me with the Dougie. Again, if I stayed in, staying in was better for me, because she had a chance to miss Rock Slide. I could have went off that chance, but I just didn't think ahead. I didn't think ahead at all. I thought in the moment, I thought she was going to Rock Slide, but she literally could just predict me. So, yeah, that's going to be my my set 1 game for ADV. I'm really not too proud of how I played this game. I'm proud of how I played the first 2 games. Actually, I think the first 2 games I played really well. Especially game 2. I played game 2 like very well, despite her missing some stuff. But still, I think I played that well. But this game was just horrible. This might have been one of my worst games, or one of my worst tournament games, which is saying a lot. Like, I think in general, this might have been one of my worst tournament games. But yeah, I just gotta do better. That's pretty much that. So I'll dive into my second set. right after this. So hopefully you guys did enjoy my breakdown of these games. If you guys did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, join my Discord Bushido gang, and subscribe for some more content on the channel. Also follow me on my Pokeamino and check out my Smokeground profile. All those links will be down in the description on this. So again, GG to Alice, aka Djokra. It was a fun series, but I just gotta do better. I really gotta do better because this meta is so fun. This meta is so fun, and I really want to do good, and I really want to do well in it, like competitively. Like this meta has been the most fun for me while this quarantine's been going on. It really has been. Like I want to do better in this meta. I really do, but I just got to learn like I really got to learn the archetypes and such in this meta because I don't think I know them that well. I only know like the offensive kind of metas or the offensive teams that people like to run. Again, like the Big Five. I think it's called the Big Five. It's like Meta, not Meta, Lance. Meta, Mence, Tar, Snorlax, Pert, and then some Boomer. Like Closer or something. That's usually like a Big Five. And then you would see a defensive team like this, which is something I didn't know how to play around. So I think once I get the hang of the archetypes, then I should have this meta down. And also just, like play a little bit smarter as well. But yeah, I've been talking my butt off this whole game, so I'm gonna let you guys, stop listening to me, and I'll just see you in set 2. So peace out, y'all.